right. Welcome to Brother Owl's Garden. I'm Brian, and I honor your presence here today. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to a good friend of mine. He comes all the way from West Mongolia, near the Altai region, and his name is Tez Ulaachtiran, which is why we just call him Tez. And without any further ado, viewers, friends, and family here at Brother Owl's Garden, I introduce to you the one and only Tez. Welcome, Tez.
Welcome, Brian.
I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you. I am honored.
It's my honor, yeah, and you're honoring everybody that's here to share in this conversation today, which I've been wanting to do for a long time, and finally today, despite astronomical internet and electric and technical hiccups, here we are. We made it. So
yes, we made it. Yes,
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, me as well.
Tez, I think that our viewers would much rather hear you talk about what it is you do rather than me. So I'm going to turn it over to you. And as if you are the mystery guest of What's My Line, I'm going to ask you, tell us about what your special sacred gift and talent is, brother.
Thank you, Brother Brian, for giving me this opportunity to reach brothers and sisters around the globe using technology, which I'm getting to know slowly and using it as a medium to expand and share some of the knowledge I learned, or some of the knowledge my ancestors passed on me, to enlighten and help enlighten other people about new or old arts that may be forgotten.
Yeah.
My name is Tez Ulaachtiran, short Tez. I come from West Mongolia. I am Tatar Mongol. And we are near the famous mountain called Altai Mountain, which expands from all the way China, goes through Kazakhstan, Western Mongolia, and all the way to Siberia and Russia. And we are renowned in this region to have a different style of singing, Khoomii singing. And it is very spiritual singing of imitating nature. So we hear sounds of animals and nature sounds as wind, rivers, and thunder, all the elements. And we try to imitate it to make a connection with the all living and not living spiritual world using techniques of vibration, throat vibration. Yes, so my uncle was actually a singer. He was a very, not very, in the region of West Mongolia, he was known for being a good singer, renowned, and he teaches many people. He passed away in maybe 13 years ago, he passed away. And when I was a kid, we have a festival, Natam Festival, which all tribes gather and sing, ride horses, racing, wrestle, and do archery competitions. And I learned some techniques. I liked the sound, and I wanted him to teach me some techniques. And he did. He's actually my favorite uncle. I was very saddened when he passed away. I went to his funeral. I was abroad, but I came back to Mongolia to be with his family. And he taught me many old techniques to practice while I was in school. I went to school in the States. So he taught me to practice this, but needs many years of practice. And my father, I remember sometime heard me when I'm practicing, and when you start practicing something, it's sometimes when you do it repeatedly, it could annoy the people around you who
Oh,
don't.
I do understand, because when I was in high school, I was practicing on the tuba. The tuba and the
Or a violin.
banjo. Yeah, tuba and banjo and bagpipe really get a hard time from for that kind of thing. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so some people have to sometimes suffer the master's growth, and that's
Yeah,
the price. So my father kind of discouraged me to practice because he said that, you know, I will never be able to do it. He was very negative.
mm,
Uh, and but for me, it was a challenge. I wanted to do it. The more I was faced with the hurdles or unpleasantries,
yeah.
the more determined to do it, because that's the price I had to pay to be ridiculed, to be scorned, made fun of, because I knew this is a price to eventually you have, if you want to be good at something, eventually you have to little bit go through this path.
I have
As
to chime in, Tez. I
yes,
understand
please.
that completely. There's two ways when somebody is throwing you down. There's two ways that you can process that. You can absorb that negative, harmful belief: I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, I'm inadequate, I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving, all that. I suck. This kind of belief, you can absorb that and make that part of the programming, which will wreck the rest of your life. Or you can say, you know what? Thank you. You just gave me a gift wrapped in crap, to be honest with you, but it's a gift of gold, because you just made me very conscious about how much I love this and how important this is to me. And the fact that it's going to require an awful lot of dedication. And you just made it clear to me that I'm not only willing to do it, it's already done. I'm done. I'm
Yes.
doing it. And it sounds to me like that's the course that you took. And I applaud you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
So
you wouldn't
it's
be here if you didn't, right?
yes, yes, true.
Yeah.
So when I was going to school in the United States, after I left Mongolia, I got a scholarship, actually grant from the government to study. I was very studious, and I scored very high in exams, because when I was there is nothing much to do except studying.
Mm.
We're not distracted by anything. We're in nature. We wake up before the sun. We sleep not too long after the sun sets. So we are very much take advantage of every second of the day to be productive as much as possible.
Mm.
And the spiritual part of this is when we do rituals during full moon. We gather, we make a big fire in the nature, and we wear our customary clothes and our hat. I have a hat we wear with golden eagle feathers
Could you
on
put
it.
that on, or is your hair in the way? Could you put that on for
No,
us?
no, I can.
Yeah, let's see what that looks like. That's great.
Yeah, so it is.
Oh, I see. So it goes right over it. Oh, right on. And what would you call this? What would you call this traditional hat in the Mongolian culture?
This is called lots. Lots.
Onts. Okay.
And
Well,
it's you put feathers from eagle feathers, usually 6 feathers. Here have 6. You can put more also.
okay.
And we have the drum. Also, you need a drum. So this is drum is traditionally made like this. Arrow, bow and arrow
Oh,
always up. And you put some. There are always pictures of some sacred animals, or a tree, wolf, and snake. And
Tez, is the animal that you put on your drum, is that your spirit animal? For example, mine is the white owl. Maybe yours is a serpent or dragon because it's on the,
Uh, well,
is
it
there-
depends because in Mongolian tradition, in shamanism, serpent is always present because even I have this is horsehair braided and made as in snake figures, and there are many. See here, you can see the horsehair, and at the end, serpent. This made by a shaman lady, very close to our family.
yeah.
And this is drum is made from yak. Yak. Normally yak, they use yak, bear, or reindeer, but
Oh,
each yes,
yeah.
each have different specialty, different spiritual contact or meaning.
The
So
energy of the animal itself is present in the
yes,
drum. Okay.
of
Very
course, yes. So if you have, for example, deer, spirit come very fast, spirit connection with ancestor come very fast, but leave also very fast.
Oh,
Yes. And if you have a bear, spirit energy come like very strong and leave very strong.
okay.
Like, but yak, red yak, and even the drumstick made from a tree where it looked like a serpent also.
Okay.
The spirit come gradually slow and lingers and slowly leaves. So it's lasting, more lasting for more deeper connection.
Oh, I see.
I
And
don't
it
want to
seems
wait.
to be the coming and the going are the same quality.
Yes, yes.
Oh, see that I didn't ever know that aspect. So that's great that you're sharing that with us.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And also we use other instruments during our ritual. Excuse me while I put that.
Sure.
It's only normally we wear only during ritual. And we have also hilchor. Hilchor, it's another instrument. I have a big one here I can show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know where
This
this
one
is going.
we
Yeah.
used to call upon spirits. This is first permission when we go to the mountain, we play this asking permission that we are coming to the mountain, the spirit of the mountain.
It's really amazing and very apropos, I guess, that you mentioned that because in my conversation with Bob Belcher, dear brother of mine, we mentioned that in the context of respect. Whenever you approach a new area, when you come to a new place, especially if you've gone for, let's say, a meditative hike or a walk through the forest where you know that you're entering sacred ground, it's very, very advisable and wise to humbly approach the spirits of that land and to honor them and acknowledge them and ask their welcome. Because we have such a mindset in modern society today of, well, this is all my stuff, this is all my land, all my woods, instead of trees, we call it woods. And I'm coming through here and going to do what I'm going to do, and it's all about me. But actually, not at all. There's way more than us out there, and to tread lightly and humbly and respectfully and ask permission and welcome for a place is such a higher frequency and much better experience than just trudging your way in, barging your way in somewhere. And so we're very forgetful, but it's always good to remember to do that. And it can be very simple. It doesn't have to be a big deal.
Yes.
Coming from your heart.
Yes, as long as you acknowledge that you are a guest, you're passing through, as nomads are in Mongolia. We are constantly moving people. So we don't have a permanent settlement, especially in West Mongolia. Maybe in East Mongolia, where Ulaanbaatar, the capital, is located, there are many settlements.
Yeah.
But in the West, because it's more mountainous region, many people pass by and have no permanence in one place. So everything is, all the land, you are a guest in those lands. So when you arrive in ask the permission of the river before you drink, you take some water and throw in the air, hooray, hooray, that I am sharing the water with the surrounding. You just put a little bit of water in your hand and you throw in the air as I am sharing with the surrounding. It's not only for me.
Yeah. And I think that it's probably the intention, the frequency of heart and the intention in doing things like that. That's what really matters. You're resonating a frequency of humility and thankfulness, and you're not stepping outside of your place. I mean, on this planet, you know, you talk about especially in Western Mongolia, it's very nomadic people. We're all nomads on this planet. We're all guests on this planet. We're all pilgrims on this planet. We're all visitors. It reminds me of there was a guru who had received a disciple for darshan, sitting at his feet for a lesson in wisdom. And it was the first time. And so this disciple came in and he saw the dwelling where the guru lived, and there was nothing. There was a little bowl, a small table. There wasn't even a chair. There was virtually, you know, there was a little blanket. That's it, nothing there. And the disciple said, oh, you know, my guru, why don't you have anything in this house? You don't have any, you haven't decorated it or furnished it with anything. And, you know, it's like you're just, you know, a guest here. And he said, I am a guest here. I'm a guest in this planet. We're all guests. Even in my home, I'm a guest. In other words, let's not focus on getting so entrenched in seizing and attaching to a place with the illusion that it belongs to us. Well, I've said enough on it. You get the point.
Yes. You know, even in Native American culture, you know, when there's a story of when Manhattan was sold by Chief Manhattan for $14, he was laughing at the, you know, new arrivals from Europe, like, well, no, they give me $14. And that's very foolish because he's gonna die and the land will still be here. Why would he buy it? So there was a very strange concept or philosophy of owning land. It's just for some, it just don't make sense. And a lot of the wars, a lot of the, you know, conflicts is because of the needing to possess something that is, you know, you cannot have it, you know, it's just a fantasy.
As much as we are not the owners, though, we are the custodians. We are the custodians, and we do need to take care. And, you know, like the Hawaiian culture has the huge wedge of land from the peak of the mountain all the way across the valley to the beach is called Ahupua'a. And, you know, there was a certain community or village or you know, that was responsible for that segment of land. It didn't mean that they owned it, but it was yours to care for.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. To dirty it, not to, you know, this make sacrilege or make you know, destroy in some way or shape, or maybe do something unholy, disrespectful to the land.
Disrespectful, bottom line. Now, talking about how, now, can you spell this word that you're calling the Mongolian throat singing? Can you spell that? Did you call it the Khoomii?
Khoomii, it's spelled many different ways because it's actually Khoomii, it's very old tradition, spans maybe thousands of years. And it's actually a very primal way of speaking or telling a story. In many Western Mongolian or in Tuva, in Kazakhstan, in Kyrgyzstan, all Central Asian region were under Mongolian dominance before in the 13th century. Mongols
So
moved around, so there are many different spelling, but the Mongolian spelling is Khoomii, Khoomii, Khoomii.
Khoomii.
Yes.
Not the way I
Yes.
would have imagined it spelled. I'm glad I asked that question. And I know that there are some famous groups. You have Hasak and you have the Who band,
Yes.
who are
Who band now recently. They're my friends, actually, very good friends of mine.
and we don't mean the Who, we mean HU, the Who band.
Yeah, Who band.
Not
yes.
the British the Who.
Not Michael, George Michael. No,
Oh,
no.
yeah, right. And I was just going to ask you about, but I think you may have answered it. Is the difference between the Mongolian, Tuvan, and Altai Khoomii throat singing, they were all originated from Mongolia and introduced into those regions, or am I because I'm not claiming to know. I'm
No,
asking.
it's correct. Actually, because previously, before Mongolia, there was the Uyghur. Now in Western China was actually an empire encompassing Mongolia, southern Siberia. Now it's Russia, which is also encompassing Tuva, Lake Baikal, all the way to Kazakhstan and south to Tibet. So all this region was under dominance of the people of the steppe. The Chinese have records of calling them some of them wild Tatar, white Tatar, and black Tatars. Black Tatars were the most warriors. The white Tatars were more the ruling or aristocrat, and the wild Tatars were living in the forest. So that's the first description of the Chinese, of the people who lived in the Mongolian steppe. So every region developed their own style of throat singing. Mm-hmm. So if somebody singing in one style, I know, oh, he's from this region. Right. Or if a Tuvan style, right away I know it is Tuvan. And if from Kazakhstan, I know it's from Kazakhstan. And so the style differs, but the technique is the same. Technique of how to do is similar. The Tuvan do more like a beat-like. They can make many beats. But Mongolian make more, like a steady, long sound. And some regions differ. If there is a mountainous region, the tribe live in a mountain. So part of the respect for the mountain, also I can demonstrate if you like about the mountain. I
absolutely want you to, definitely. Take it away, Tez.
Oh, please. So this is my Murinhor, for example. This is another instrument from Central Asia where it's used, of course, a horse tail. And
could you lift that up so that we can see the whole thing before you start playing it? We can get a good look at it.
This is
all right.
This is the box and the bridge. It's a very old style. Used to be not square. The old style is more round. And there is a story behind how this came about, of somebody losing his horse, which had wings, and every time he can fly to his lover, riding this horse, and be with his lover, and then return back to his home. But another jealous lover, one day cut the wings of the horse, and the horse fell and perished. So the man took the whatever left from the horse, the bones, the hair, and the skin, and made this instrument to sing for his lover, because he cannot meet anymore. So he could still send vibration to her and continue the love story. That's one version.
It's a beautiful folk story. Can you repeat for us the name of this instrument, please?
This name is Murinhor. Mur means horse. Hor means sound. Murin hor. So basically, horse go. That's mountain sound of the mountain. So it's more like you vibrating towards the mountain, and usually the mountain talk back to you because of the echo. So like you, the spirit of the mountain. Sometimes mountain talk to you after 3 seconds. You make sound and you hear one after 3 seconds, which is very mesmerizing.
Yeah, you
So
know, Tez, I find that's the right word. As soon as you start, I start to just get into this state of like a primal, it's just a primal presence and focus. I love it. I use this kind of music with the Mongolian throat singing. I have several songs that I use when I do Reiki sessions. If I'm not doing like chanting music in the background, I'll, or if I want to bump up the power and the intensity of the flow, the torrent, and the intention, I will totally go to the Mongolian throat singing music that I have. And as a matter of
also
fact,
there is
I'll recommend I'll put a couple of suggestions in the descriptions of who I would recommend people search. You can search it on YouTube if you like this kind of music and you want to hear some bands. But when you start that, I automatically start to zone right in. I love it.
this is one style. There are many kind of styles.
Give
So
us another one.
there is another style for you singing for the river or the wind elements. For example, we're even making sound to the wind like or the water. most difficult one is the Khoomii, which is the low sound is called hechra, but the Khoomii is. This is hechra.
Wow, Tez, let me say a few things. Number one, wow, and thank you. That's incredible. Those
Thank you.
overtones are insane. The overtones are like multi-dimensionally magnificent. And I know my friend Bill is going to make a comment about Ralph saying feeding time at the zoo. He'll know what that means. That's an inside joke for my friend Bill regarding the sounds of wah that you were making. And I just can't tell you, I don't get sick of this. I mean, I will say this is an acquired taste. There's some people who will say, hey, he's really good at that, and I don't like that kind of music. And there's other people who are going to say, where have I been? Where has this music been that I've never heard it before? I need this. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you now on the spot. Do you teach? Do you teach this to people? Is it teachable, or is there any level that you could do online, or is it only in person? How do you handle that?
Yes, actually, because recently the rise of many bands in Mongolia and Tuva made the people actually accustomed to this sound. It's about all being accustomed to the sound.
Yeah, becoming more into the mainstream, or at least fringes of the mainstream.
Yes, yes. So they, for example, Hungurtu went to Lincoln Center and performed there, and many other places in Europe. So people acquired this sound because initially this sound, it's, for example, some sounds are associated with the demons or the dark underground. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, when I was in some countries where they, I don't want to mention countries by name for not some countries where I perform, they thought I was actually possessed by demons, or I was very, they didn't know how to react to my sounds. They were fearful, there is reverence, and there are sometimes, they just kept away, you know, they hold their children and way.
Run.
Yeah, run. And because
well, people are afraid of the unknown, and they don't know how to, I mean, from a stance of understanding and you know, forgiveness within understanding, they don't have the reference. They are, yes, it's alien.
No reference point.
And they don't have a reference point except, I don't know what it is, and it scares me. It must be evil. You know,
exactly.
Something like that.
For example, I love the Philippines. When I was in the Philippines, I rented a bungalow and by the water, and it was very out of the way, you know, in some place no tourists ever been. I like places like this, like
Right.
least traveled roads. And I stayed there, and I was practicing in my bungalow. So I'm doing some ritual, and the old lady who owned the place, she loved me very much normally, but then when she heard me, she was like, started giving me different look, like afraid, and the word spread when, because my very travels long distances. So people love me as a person, but they were like, this guy. As a matter of fact, they were even more afraid because one time I go to the woods and there were a lot of cows, and one of the herders saw the calf leave his mother and come to me, and other cows surround me when I'm making communication with these sounds to animals. And that's more was enforcing their thought even more, that what kind of powers this man can have to make the calf leave its mother and come to him for petting. Or one time I was in a restaurant, I have sitting, I make sound before I'm eating, for blessing, and some bats came fly over my head, and all the people in the restaurant were so surprised, and some people even left the restaurant after. So it's very,
Well,
coming back.
to each
It's
his
coming
own,
back.
and everyone is going to process everything not the way it is as much as the way they are. And I'm glad you mentioned bats. I never really talk about it, but I have also a recent affinity and affection. It has nothing to do with the dreaded illness that shall not be named on YouTube. It has nothing to do with that. It was before that happened. I had an encounter with a bat that I rescued that was 99.999% dead. And it was caught in a bird net on a fruit tree area. And I came over and snipped it out, and I talked to it, and I said, here's the deal. I will rescue you, and I will give you everything I can to help save you, but you cannot bite me, And so I picked it up with the banana leaves, and I put it in a half a coconut shell. I took it home. I gave it a mixture of egg yolks and sugar, which just made sense to me intuitively. That's what it needed for a quick burst of
Protein,
energy and a longer
yes.
burst of energy. And then I did Reiki on it for, oh my gosh, maybe an hour or hour and a half. I don't remember. And this little bat went from almost unable to move to being ready to be set in the tree to fly away whenever it wanted. And I'm not going to finish the story because it's very, very personal, and some people would get off the bus if I told you the ending. But let's just say I put it up in the tree, and I came back 2 hours later, and it had flown away. And I made sure, because I inspected everywhere under that tree, and it was not there. It had flown away, and I'll just say in a sweet way that bat flew back into my life. As Rumi says, don't grieve for anything at all, because whatever you lose returns to you in another form. So
Exactly. Yes.
I have an affinity with the bats now. And when they come and they kind of greet me at dusk, and if they come and, practically touch my nose,
Wow.
I love them. I'm not afraid of them or averse to them at all.
That's a beautiful story. Nice.
Have you ever done the Khoomii with elephants? Because of the deep tone, I'm just thinking elephants might really like that.
Okay, look, I tell you, I've done with many animals, many animals, and I rescue snakes with the sound. Many snakes. The situations the snake was in a house and the owner wanted to kill it, but
Right.
with my frequency, I managed to make contact with the snake, and it was a poisonous, dangerous snake. So snake was with my vibration knew that I am there as a help, not to kill, not to harm. And snake surrendered to me, and I release in the jungle afterwards. It happened that I saved even snake that 100% dead. It was people were jumping over it because it's dead. It's people were just passing over it, jumping, and I picked it up. And I asked the lady, one lady was standing, she thought I was crazy. I said, you did this to the snake? And she said, yeah. And I said, why? And she was surprised that I asked why. And I was like, I told her, hope that I can put this snake back to life because it's very bad karma for you. And woman was upset with me that even I said this. So I took the snake and I did same as you did with the bat. I make meditation, throat singing, and caress it and imagine all its bones coming back together. Or even one eye was cloudy because it was hit so hard with a metal rod. And animal, after 3 days, it became just like nothing happened. It's all the flesh came back, and I put in water, like there was a small creek, so it had somebody out inside to manage the inside the temperature. And the 3rd day it was gone, and I knew it was gone healthy. So animals, with all kind of animals, I remember a story in India. I was in India. I go to a Hindu temple, and it was a holiday. It was like a ceremony, and I didn't know on the door it said Hindus only, but yeah, there was some.
Yeah.
I later, and I go inside the temple from the back door because some young people were passing this on the street, and they were wearing very decorative sarong. So I asked them, "What is the occasion?" They said, "Oh, come with us." So I came as invited, as a guest. And I go inside, and it's a very beautiful temple, and there's a ritual, people doing their rituals, paying respect. And there were 3 elephants, huge elephant decorated with a lot of ornaments. And I stood there, and it was a very crowded place. So I wanted to test how, even with the crowd, even with full crowd of noisy people, if my vibration can travel to the elephant's consciousness. So I make this high pitched sound, very high, very like. While I was meditating, an elephant starts flopping the ears, and the trunk is coming and looking around, and he acknowledged my location, but he's making a lot of movement, and there was a man riding him. So the man got startled and like, what is going on? So he looked at the elephant, and he saw the elephant's intention was towards me in the crowd. And right away, he directed somebody from like the people who are managing the temple. And they come to me and they said, what do you do to the animal? What do you do to the elephant? I say, no, I just make a communication, say I am acknowledge the presence because it's Elephant Day. And he look at me, say, you are Hindu. Are you Hindu? And I said, yes. And I show my elephant tattoo on my arm. I have actually elephant tattoo on my arm here. I show the tattoo, and he said, I don't believe you are Hindu because I was watching you during the ritual. You make few mistakes. He said, you're not Hindu. But my friends came to back me up. They said, no, he's our guest. No, he is not Hindu, only Hindu, bang, bang. And they start almost a quarrel, a fight, loud. And then I said, no, I don't want no trouble. Please, I go. It's, I don't want any argument. It's a holy place, holy day. I just go. So I was going, and they hold me from my hand to take me out. I was like, but sir, I cannot go this way. I got to go this way. He said, no, you have to come this way. I said, no, I have to go this way because I left my sandals on the other side. I came from the back door. So then they smile and let me go, and it was all fine. So it's elephant. I have story with all kind of elephants, all kind of animals regarding communication through throat singing, even with eagle, or whatever animal you can imagine,
Yeah.
insect.
Yeah.
Even I mean, if you can make connection with rock, with the mountain, you can make connection with. Actually, I have a story, very interesting story also about connection with somebody that the doctor said they are brain dead. Imagine. Imagine this. I was in Taiwan, and I went to some place, very holy, sacred place, mountain there. And somebody from the tribe, because there are a lot of tribes in Taiwan, actually, 18 different tribes other than Han Chinese on the east side of the island. And I was with the Amis tribe, and I camped there with them, and somebody heard that, I don't know how, they said this guy is a healer. So his mother of a child came to me and she said, I heard about you. Somebody say something that you heal with your sound. I have a daughter that is, at birth, she suffered something. I think it was the AC was strong, something about getting cold, and then later complications, and the girl becomes stunned and not develop, and not able to make communication with outside. So I say to her, okay, let's. I would like to help. She's 4 years old. She showed me a picture, and I say, okay. I choose the day, some day in the calendar. I say I will meet. And one lady had a car, and she said, I will drive you wherever you gotta go. I will help you. So they took me first to one house, somebody's house in the jungle also, but I not like the energy there. Something I didn't like the energy, and I said, no, not here. I said, you have somewhere like more like a temple, near temple. And lady thought, she said, oh, there is an abandoned temple in the mountain, but nobody go there. It's all, it's old temple. Nobody go there anymore. I said, exactly, let's go there. So even we went, she took the 4-wheel drive, go to the mountain. And at one point, the car cannot go. You have to get out. And I carry the child, and we go to the temple. And it was really abandoned temple. It's all bambooed up, closed. Some areas were closed. But there was a beautiful tree, banyan tree, very beautiful. It's took right away, drew my attention. So I say, let's go under this tree. I felt power under this tree. And I laid the kid down, and there was a friend, Japanese friend also with me, who had a drum. I asked to drum like softly because I will just concentrate on the child. And mother sit down there just watching. I went into of course, after a while you do throat singing, it can elevate you to a state of higher consciousness. Because this vibration within, you can manage the vibration to make, open some energies in the body where your brain, inside your brain vibrating. And it can, the energy from the root chakra to the throat chakra, once it gets connected, very strong connection, it reaches up to the higher upper chakras. And then you can go in a state of, some people would say DMT release, or trance state. Basically, you go to some state where you are out of body experience. So even you can happen that I walk on fire and I don't feel the fire. A fire not burn me. And I look afterwards, I look at my feet. There is no burn, because you become one with the elements. Even the fire not burn you. And so I go inside the state of trance where time doesn't exist even. There's no time, no place. And it lasted 4 hours. I normally thought it was maybe half an hour, but it was later when they look at, it was already sunset coming. And the kid had a lazy eye, I noticed. One eye was lazy and one eye was focused in the middle. So during my trance state, the kid made connection with me. The eye became centered and looked straight at me. And this 4-year-old kid look inside my soul. I look inside the soul and start singing with me, the child. She started going, because there's another level, another way of doing overtone, which is, you know, more easy, which is when you do. This is different than Khoomii. It's a different technique. So the kid was doing this technique with me, and mother was in shock. Mother was later when I saw, because during the trance I don't see anything, but after I see mother very much in tears, her makeup all run down, and the kid wanted to wake up, to stand up, because there was no muscle, there is no physical therapy, there is nothing. The kid was, you know, in the Chinese culture, unfortunately, some they perceive this kind of event with children being, you know, ill as a karma. So they lock in a room and actually punish the kid. It's like a punishment, and they don't want to show to the outside world. And there was no physical activity, but I put her on the grass, and the kid want to walk. But the muscle, there is no muscle not working. But consciously, she want to stand up and look in my eye and singing to me. Afterwards, mother and the Japanese guy next to me was shocked. I was also like shocked that 4 hours had passed, because I thought it was only maybe half an hour, maybe maximum. And so we take the kid back to the home, and we put in the room, and I see her living condition. Mother hired somebody to look after the kid, and the room is dark, kid isolated. And then I walk outside, and the kid spoke to me actually in another language. I forgot to mention this. She, through vibration, she make this face, showing me her teeth, which had been melted, completely melted. And I asked her, how you feel vibrationally, not linguistically? And she said, look at my teeth. I am taking 13 medications every day. And I knew the number 13. And I asked the mother, I said, she taking 13 medication? She said, how do you know? I said, she told me. And this, look what it's doing to the teeth. Her teeth melted from the chemicals. And I go to the house, I go to the garden, and I see abundance of mango tree. And the mangoes are hanging like ready to pick. Like all ripe red mangoes, so tasty, even smelling without even opening or, you know, peeling it. So I wanted to take some mango. I said, may I have some of your mangoes? She said, sure, collect as much as you want. I pick one mango and I smell, it's so delicious. I say, all of a sudden this question popped in my mind. I said, has your daughter ever tasted this mango? She said, no, never. And I was in a shock. I said, how? Why? She said, well, the doctor said she have to eat this puree that you have to buy from the pharmacy and nothing else. And I said, I look at the mother and I say, you know, you say about your daughter that she's brain dead, you come to me, but I think it's wrong diagnosis. I think your doctor is brain dead. This kid is not brain dead. You saw what happened. full communication. And if she cannot eat this nature gift that exists right in front of your house with reachable, you don't even have to climb the tree, you just pick it. And it's the most delicious mango I ever tasted. And the kid never had one sweet taste of this mango. I was baffled. And I continued traveling because my visa expired, even though they wanted me to go more because it was clear results of how vibration can awaken and can make many changes. So that's my story about.
Tez, that story breaks my heart first of all.
Yeah, me as
it makes my heart fly, but not without breaking it. And I think that you nailed it. Who, you know, as they call in psychology, the identified patient. You know, who's the one that's really sick here? I hope that poor child received miraculous care and transfiguration following your departure, because you sound to me like the only one who was ever alive to her in the first
indeed,
place.
yes. Yes.
I'm sure her mother loved her and all that, but no idea how to take care of her. And you know, if you wanted to make it in its simplest form, if you wanted to express it in as simple a form as possible, isn't it amazing the transformation and transfiguration that arises when we engage pure divine love? You know, and that child was being starved of all of it. She was being given all the correct regimen as prescribed of the chemicals to shove down her throat every day. And she was locked in a dark, actually, she was put away in that room. She was put out of the way, even better. She was put out of the way. She won't be any trouble to us here. This was all about other people lacking wisdom that were surrounding her. It wasn't about her and what she needed. But when you came, you saw her and you acknowledged her and you opened to her as she is. And you are the one that she communicated with and opened herself to, because she is in there. And I know what you mean about the karma thing. It's called fatalism. And I used to live in Taiwan, and I've been to the area not far from where you were, and I visited some of the tribes. I even spent time on Lanyu, Orchid Island, where I
know Lanyu. Yeah,
I have pictures from lifetimes ago of the people that were living underground, which I'm sure by now doesn't even exist anymore, because when I was there,
it's the most isolated island, very nice island. They're famous for the flying fish and their special boats. Yeah, very special. They resisted opening 7-Eleven for so many years. You know, it was so isolated island. Still, you know, the tribe is still untouched by civilization, but they're very civilized.
I have to sadly disagree with you about untouched, because there has been a nuclear waste silo on that island for decades. And I didn't know that until I went there, and I was on a motorbike that I rented. And the island is very small. Sounds like you were there. The island is very small. You can zip around it in less than a half a day, a few hours.
Yes, very easy.
As I was driving around, taking in, like my initial survey of the place, I was riding around just the edge before I started going in deep and talking to the people and doing my portrait photography and stuff that I had been doing at that time before that. And I'm riding along, and all of a sudden I felt the most awful, terrible, dreadful wave, or I should not a wave, a wall of horrible energy. And I said, oh my God, I'm getting nauseous. I feel like I'm going to vomit. And the area looked perfectly green and clean and normal. And there was no village nearby. There was no place that I would consider, you know, dark or cursed or anything like that. And I said, this is overwhelming and I don't know what it is. Maybe something terrible happened here before and I'm feeling it. And then I looked down to the cliff right on the edge of the water. And there was the nuclear waste storage silos. And I said, that's what I feel. Whatever that is, it's awful. And then when I went back and returned the motorbike and I said, hey, I just had an unbelievable experience. What is that place? And then they explained to me what it was. And I understood.
Wow.
So
Something unnatural, something very unnatural, not
it's more than unnatural. The government put it there because the people were completely ignorant of all such things. And so they could be,
oh my God,
they could be taken advantage of in that way. And I think that, you know, again, in the defense of Taiwan, this was many years ago, decades ago, 25, 30 years ago. But now they are really improving as far as how they are treating their indigenous people, which, by the way, migrated from the Philippines. Their indigenous tribes came from the landmass of the Philippines up into Taiwan. They didn't come from the Asian subcontinent or anything like that. But anyway.
Yes, they're very ancient people. The tribes are very ancient in Taiwan, and they say it's they're ancestors of many Southeast Asians, including Indonesia, Malaysia, you know, all the South Asian countries.
Yeah,
Philippines.
Sort of a mix of Southeast Asian and Pacific Islander.
Exactly, yes.
Now, as far as what I asked you before, do you teach, or is that something that people could?
Oh yes, I'm sorry, I the question.
No, that's okay. Everything you've shared is absolutely precious. But in case somebody is saying, "Hey, I want to learn this me." This Khoomii stuff. You want to learn this? Who, me? Yes, who, me? If they want to get a little taste of it. Of course, I'm asking you, you can say, no, I don't teach, or I can't do it online, or
no, I teach, yes, I teach. I try recently actually to teach online because I have been, you know, more using the apps for communication. And I posted some videos, and I have many friends around the world because I'm a nomad. I'm traveling the world continuously until recently, and very bigger means I'm sharing my vibration, and people always support me and help me. This is called the Butterchin. My title, Butterchin, means traveler healer who doesn't want much except you know, simple life.
Yeah.
And yes, very, very humble, very simple, and sharing whatever God has gifted to me. And many people want to learn, and I come to some communities, like mostly Western people sometimes come to learn and also teach. And they want to learn.
Can you, you said, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You said you posted videos. Now you have your own YouTube channel featuring your experiences with Khoomii, or?
I did not. My friends posted because I'm not into too much advertising.
Yeah. But where could somebody reach you? Where could somebody find you? And of course, whatever you tell me, I'll put in the description for people to access.
I have actually, I do have Instagram, and I have a special page on Facebook regarding shamanism and throat singing teaching.
Okay.
And I did teaching techniques. I teach techniques of how to develop, because it's actually need time, need a lot of development. It's like yoga. So somebody do a position needs training, daily training, commitment. It needs the daily practice, because the throat have to open up, and the vocal cords have to separate. So when the wind passing through, sliding like wave, it's become effortlessly. Even though you see my face maybe become red, but this is because the blood pressure going. But I can do very relaxed too, like when meditation style, like. Or when I do even the high sound. I'm doing like transfer of air from my diaphragm up. It's blood rushing up, but I'm very relaxed actually. But
Tez, I just want to say,
development.
I'm not sure if the microphone is capturing what you're doing in true form, because I've met you in person and sat with you and even had some attempts at doing this myself. And I know what it sounds like. And what I'm hearing on my end on the microphone, it's not coming through because of the frequencies. And later I'll review the recording, and maybe it did come through in the recording, but it's not coming through with what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I record some frequencies the machine cannot catch. That's why, that's the reasons I am reluctant to, I've been refraining from teaching from online, because you cannot really get the whole dimensions of it. I have to hear the person. I have to touch, sometimes touch the vibration, but I can teach techniques that they can practice in, and then they will improve. And then when they reach back and they show me how they evolve, I can hear the difference, that how much they've already practiced, how much they gave to it, how much attention they gave. But when I am in live, when I have students come live, I meet them, then it's of course, much easier, because I hear them and they can hear me and they can imitate some of the sounds I make.
And that's why I asked you, is it possible to teach online or not? Because I was wondering, because the frequencies, at least from what I'm hearing live in this conversation, they're not coming through with what I know you're doing. The microphone is not carrying it. And so I hope that somehow it is being recorded, even though I don't hear it now. But
need a very strong microphone.
Yeah,
very good microphone. Must high level microphone to catch the high pitches. Right.
So I will put whatever contact information you want in the description for anybody that wants to reach out to you. And I think
the thing is, for me, is actually more important is people understanding this, because a lot of people come to learn from me, and their intentions are different. The intentions are, I want to be a healer. I want to take this information and want to make money from it. Like I want to go open a place and I want to make sounds that will impress people. That's totally, the intention is not right and not divine. So they will not learn. They will be in one level and it will plateau, and they cannot crack higher levels, because intention is very important. If your intention to impress or to make money from it, or if your intention to manipulate people with your sound, or manipulate for monetary gain, or lust, so some people do it for even lust. Like some, I met even people who in communities, they do massage. I could be like a guy making massage to a lady, and he wants to, do something to her different way, to impress her or take advantage, maybe, I don't know. You can feel the intention, So these sometimes I don't want to teach. I feel this already, even before the person come to me and
Right.
ask me. I feel the intention, and don't waste my time. For me, it's not about money. If somebody pay me thousands of dollars, whatever, and I feel like their intention is not pure, I don't like waste my time. I really not need the money. I am very simple man. I survive very simple. You see my house, you see my lifestyle. I don't need this. But if some person want to really learn and understand the magic of this power of connection, opening chakra and healing, serving people, service to people, serving self first, serving self to connect, and later on to service people. I feel that too. I feel the passion in the eyes. I feel the passion in their heart. And they have been researching this long time. They've been wanting to do this. Then I make an exception. I will not ask anything from that person. I will want to teach them lifelong. And I will teach them the techniques, every technique I know, whatever I know. It's important for me.
Yeah.
The most important teaching is the intention and the usage, how I feel about what.
Yeah.
Important for the person also. If your intentions are to serve people, you will reach higher levels. You will, but if your intentions are selfish and only, to sell personal gain,
Yeah.
then you will not reach the spirits will not open up your. No matter how much you practice, you will. It's just there will be a blockage, and you need. Anyways, you need that connection.
Yeah.
The
And
chakras to open up. It's
what
very
I
different.
what I would say, Tez, about that is when your intention is pure, your frequency is high. And when your frequency is high, creation will completely support your endeavor. And if your
Exactly,
motives and
yes.
your intentions are selfish or impure, then your frequency is low and you will be met with brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. And I understand that. And if I could offer you a word that kind of fits all that you just said, there's a Hawaiian word called pono, P-O-N-O, pono. And it means pure, righteous, upright, proper. And it's a word I really love. In other words, you could think of it as clean and good. If your
Yes,
intentions are
immaculate.
clean and good and pure, that's
Yes.
pono. And if this is
Pono.
not pono, you just know it doesn't, that there's something stinky here. There's something wrong. It's not pono. So I love that Hawaiian word pono, and that fits everything you just described is pono. I mean, when it's good, when it's good.
Yeah, it's everything is intention. Everything for me intention. My intention to be on the road, even my intention to learn this is actually first start with me, because first I want to service me. My intention is to calm me down, to make me more grounded, to make me in touch with the surrounding and be present, to connect with everything alive around me now and everything not the spirit world, to understand where I came. Like I came to this world, I want to understand. And I understood very long time ago instinctively that vibration is everything. Vibration, frequency is the energy that we pass. It's our currency. That's a real currency. And passing this currency around and elevating your own vibration and elevating your this gift that is given to you is the tone. Is everything is tone. It's when language was invented. Well, they know when people started writing because they have some tablets they found in Mesopotamia, other places, when people start drawing words, drawing sound. But scientists not know exactly when we start puffing words, consonants, and make sense to the other side to exchange information. We initially were talking only with the vowels, like with expression, facial expression, gestures, and make or something dangerous, or when you see something beautiful, Ooh, oh. You know, the sounds, it's give more pure, real feeling transfer to the other side without usage of words, but it's more very pure because it's cannot be faked. You cannot,
Contaminated. Can't be
yeah, you
contaminated.
cannot.
You know,
It's impossible.
that's why they say energy doesn't lie. And I've heard
No,
it
not
said
lie.
that, yeah, I've heard it said that language was invented so that we could lie or deceive.
Yes, lie,
But
cheat,
energy does
deceive.
not.
Exactly. That's why when in contract you see fine print. Why the guy cannot write big print? Run out of ink, no paper? No, because he to trick you. So at the end, when you make when you want to get out of the contract, you say, "Ah, look, I wrote here. You didn't read. Ah, there is deception, fine print."
Yeah.
So also in the language there is fine print. You say under breath, over breath. So but who understand this? Who are conscious to understand are animals and children, because they are not programmed yet. So the child, even if you say something nice to the child, but it's not match the tone, the vibration, the child no, this is fake. This is not real.
Yeah.
Even you want to hold a horse and you talk nice, you give apple, you give you want to ride the horse, so your intention, I want just to ride the horse, and but not connect with the horse. You just want to ride him because for some reason you got to go someplace. The horse know that you are not really real, and when you get on him, he will throw you back. You get thrown down.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we've talked so much about animals today, and I just wanted to add that it's astonishing to me how humans have this kind of a automatic looking down on animals and other life forms as if we are above them all, and as if they, okay, I just said that, and my cat Chuki put her head up and looked directly into my eyes when I said that, which is an acknowledgement from her.
the vibration, felt your vibration about her.
In fact, now I have to tell you something. Give me 1 second.
Please.
Because she did that. But Tez, I told you the story about the bat that I rescued.
Yes.
And I told you that don't grieve anything because everything comes back to you in another form.
The cat came.
This is the bat. This is her. This is the soul that was the bat when I first.
Wow, unbelievable.
And now
Yes.
she's my sleep.
That's wise Hawaiian words. Remember, you had one time chicken. I remember when I last visited you, had a small chick.
Hold on, because now I have to tell you
it's there. Wow, I can't believe it.
The chicken that you are talking about, I named Squeaky.
Squeaky, yeah, I remember Squeaky. Yes, 100%.
But Squeaky got killed by 2 dogs. And to quote Rumi again, don't grieve for anything because everything comes back to you in a new form. Here is Squeaky.
That's Squeaky.
This is Lotus. And when I got Lotus, I looked into her eyes and I saw Squeaky. And I was so conscious of it that I said, "Are you Squeaky?" And a Japanese friend of mine who is profoundly mystic and psychic, like he can see, he's a rishi, like in that sense. He came and met Lotus for the first time as a kitten. And he said, "I don't know how to tell you this, but I keep saying Squeaky in my mind, not Lotus, because that is Squeaky." And I said, "I knew it. 2 days ago, I actually asked her." And so because of that, I made this. Let me see.
Oh, unbelievable.
This is who they were before and now. There's the chicken, there's the bat, and this is who they are now.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Some people will say, "Brian is absolutely nuts. He's a whack job," and that's okay. You are correct. But what I've told you also is true.
Yes, brother. This is for me. It's completely rational. Nothing wacky about this, really.
The world is what's nuts.
I am also wacky. If you're wacky, I am also too
Yeah.
wacky. met.
Yeah, I am. I'm a total whack job. If you look at me through a lens called world, if you look
Yes.
at me through the way the world is, I look upside down, backwards, whacked out, nuts. If you believe that the world and the way the world is the correct, clear way of seeing, then I will be totally up.
Me as well. I will be in the same club, brother.
Yeah, and you know what? Good, good.
Yeah,
I'm very happy to be in you know, outside of that, and to go ahead, call me
exactly.
nuts.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. So on that happy note, I want to thank everyone for joining us today and this wonderful conversation. Tez,
Oh,
you're
thank you.
amazing. You're an absolute inferno of brilliance. I love you,
Oh,
brother.
thank you, brother.
And
I love you too, my brother. Thank
thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
You grace
We
and
are
bless
such
my life. You grace and bless my life with your presence and your gifts. And I thank you, along with everybody else that has experienced your giving of your sacred gifts. And I honor you and I thank you, Tez. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I am, you know, even though you are my brother, even though sometimes I have brothers around the world,
Yeah.
which are very low maintenance, that we maybe not keep contact all the time, but then when we keep contact, we know you are there. We like we never miss the beat. It's the brotherhood, the connection is always there. There is no need for time or distance. It doesn't exist between us. So that's the beautiful thing, that I have brothers such as you, Brian, and other brothers that I made around the world. And it's for me a blessing to know you and know that another whack job like me exists in the world.
Thank God. Thank
Thank
God.
God.
What a world without the whack jobs in it, it would be. So I thank you
brother.
again. And I
I'm
hope that
blessed.
everyone has enjoyed sharing and getting to know you. And I honor you. And
I am blessed, brother.
I remind us all that we are, each of us, a sovereign and individuated emanation of the divinity from which we have arisen. So let us be that.